Welcome back to Here and Now. By now, many tributes have been paid to Newfoundland writer and satirist Ray Guy. Ray died last night at age 74. Ray was best known for the columns that he wrote for a number of newspapers. He wrote his last earlier this year for the Northeast Avalon Times. He was adored by many who saw him as an unofficial opposition, the voice of the province's conscience. But he was loathed and feared by the politicians who were on the receiving end of his sharp political commentary. Here and Now's Atsa Rizori has this retrospective.
If Ray had golfed the way he wrote, he would have made one of the most entertaining golfers ever. A strong tee-off.
St. John's has always been the tail that wagged the dog.
A few more sizzling shots, not excluding a hole-in-one for the dazzle.
1/5 of the population bossing the other 4/5 around.
Then suddenly in the rough, a sand trap, the place where no player who takes himself seriously deigns to be. There, Ray would do his mucking best. And just when you were wondering what the heck, the ball comes flying out, bounces off the nearest obstacle or two, plonks on the green, saunters over to the pole, hits it, and drops chortling into the hole.
Now the poor old Newfoundland dog has its ribs sticking through, but its tawny tail grows fatter and wags like a windmill.
The first footage we have of Ray is in the mid-1970s. He just quit the Telegram and started a small paper in his hometown, Arnold's Cove. Even his answer to the question why is pure play.
Why aren't you writing for the paper anymore?
Oh, well, I just needed a break from it. You have to go through all these theatrics to get a decent holiday from the Evening Telegram.
Still, it was at the Telegram that he got his start as a 24-year-old journalism graduate from Ryerson. First as a reporter, then as a columnist. 1,000 words a day, 5 days a week, in the voice of the Bay, without ambition, without fear, without any illusions about power and politics.
Newfoundland politics is, just chasing, say a cat chasing its own tail around. If you want to sit back on the sidelines like a cracky and bark it.
And bark he did, the loudest and hardest at former Premier Joey Smallwood and his crowd. Every column a rant of tomfoolery and indignation, mocking each other.
I got it from time to time, we all did, in satirical terms. And his bent, if you said to me, what was Ray Guy really after? Ray was about puncturing pomposity.
Do you ever wonder whether you maybe were a bit too hard on Joey Smallwood and some of his colleagues in those days?
Oh, good God, no. I mean, the shame lies in not having been 10 times harder. Oh, when you saw the way that, Smallwood in particular, and his administration could make nearly everybody cringe, it was absolutely disgusting.
I guess the anarchic kind of nature of it, right? The kicking out against the pricks, as it says in the Bible.
All along, Ray himself was notoriously shy, even self-effacing, giving his smart aleck alter ego the full limelight.
Well, it's like a part you play on a stage. People I always felt are a bit disappointed to see the person in the flesh, while you're writing, you can keep up this facade.
Most people didn't get a chance to know Ray, but he was an incredibly nice man. One of the boys, there was, I remember when I first met him, I was a little bit intimidated. I was just a tadpole of a reporter, and he was the Ray Guy. But he put me at ease immediately because he was shyer than I was.
Today we're coming to you from St. John's.
Even the mainland took notice.
Ray Guy is a Newfoundland satirist and humorist, and incidentally a best-selling author. He's been described as the best columnist in Canada.
They gave him the Leacock Award for Humour. They inducted him into the Canadian Journalism Hall of Fame. By that time, he'd also burned the most bridges of any columnist in Canada.
I've said some nasty things about the CBC. I've called the editors of the Daily News a failed Jesuit, one of them, the other born-again nutter. I've called our friends at the Telegram former plantation owners. I don't know, but I live in hope.
They're some nice people, aren't they?
With talent like his, he didn't need hope. Before long, he was Jack. In the CBC TV series Up at Ours, he called it Up Yours. More film work followed. Ray, already the people's oracle, added full-blown celebrity to his list of credentials.
I had a lot of parties here that Ray was at, both when we were both drinking and when we weren't drinking, and he was always, you know, like people would line up to talk to him. You know what I mean? Like there was the line to talk to Ray.
Ah, the prayers of the righteous.
He kept writing his columns for different papers, and then the CBC came to its senses and hired him as a commentator on Here and Now.
At last we can get out there and start killing the seals again. You know, there'll always be life in Newfoundland as long as we got something left to kill.
He should know. He was one of the greatest hunters and killers of hypocrisy that ever stalked this province. Goodbye to Ray. Oxford Sorry, CBC News, St. John's.